I like a little madness in my life. And seeing as how art imitates life, I like a little madness in my art. And that reminds me of a little film called The Good Neighbor, where the filmmakers threw caution out the window, and with it went a conventional approach to filmmaking. But between you and me, I think they just wanted to tell a story. Isn't that what it's about? Anyway, welcome to my review. There is a phenomenon that takes place within a person's development in which a chemical imbalance within the brain renders the subject incapable of making purely rational decisions. No, this doesn't take place in infancy or even toddlerdom. It takes place anywhere between 12 and 20 years of age. To be crude about it, all teenagers are inherently retarded. Enter these two, Sean and Ethan. Sean is smart and not too rebellious, while Ethan is a butthole. He drinks, he has an attitude, and he thinks he's big stuff. In a plot point that I've always felt seems to reflect the personal life choices of the filmmakers themselves, he wants to be a filmmaker. The teenager in the movie wants to make films. I've always thought that was kind of a silly thing to put in a movie, almost like watching a movie about a movie, but it was kind of a big deal for the story in this case. So, this Ethan's first big project, he's decided, will be observing an old man, Harold Graney, across the street while they make him think he's being haunted, and film all of it. Fortunately for Ethan, the cooperative and slightly spineless Sean has a rich dad who probably feels a bit guilty for divorcing his mom. Thus, the teens have the means to purchase state-of-the-art surveillance equipment and all kinds of tech that can disturb thermostats, home alarms, and lighting. They're ready to be a-holes. Oh, wait, this Mr. Graney is believed to be a sick, twisted, alcoholic wife-beater. So I guess he's fair game. At least that's what the teens tell themselves. But I'm not here to take the moral high ground. For the sake of the movie, it's okay to be a-holes to the a-hole as long as they don't get caught. Harold's wife got away from his clutches, and now he lives alone. Will the teens get away? If he beat his wife and she belonged at his house, then what do you think he'll do to a couple of entitled teenage brats? You just have to find out, because I'm not saying another word. Now, let's talk about cast. This film features Laura Innes from ER. You know, the redhead. I've always liked her. Anne Dudek from House is in this too, but I don't think they meant to do that. They're both just really good actresses. And finally, James Caan is in this movie as Harold Graney. Are you getting shivers down your spine? Now, the fact that I like this movie is saying a lot. It's kind of a found footage hybrid. I think that's one of the reasons I like it. I've never liked found footage, but in this film they used it as a tool in which to tell a story instead of venturing into that genre completely. Thank you. Really, thank you. I've sat through found footage movies before, but cringes happen often. Particularly when someone says, "Oh my gosh, put the camera down," or "I'm doing research," or "I just want to savor this moment, guys." Usually there are booze involved, and eventually people crappily act scared of something you will probably never get to see. Cringe. But I really liked the marriage of different styles in this movie, and any critic who gave it a bad review, there were a few, thinks inside of a box. And that brings up the madness factor again. We watch movies for entertainment, first and foremost. Art is for entertainment. So when a movie ventures out of the little box as conventional filmmaking, and it's entertaining as heck because of it, bravo. As an aside, if you try to think outside the box and it isn't entertaining, then what did you go and do that for? It's important for filmmakers to know their limits and work inside of them. But working within your limits is very different from working inside of a box. And in my opinion, if a filmmaker's limits line up with the borders of the box, and there's no room outside the box but within their limits, they should probably do something else with their lives. A great film tells an increasingly intelligent audience a story that gives them a profound reaction. It's an accumulation of strategically placed tropes and an innovative approach. But again, that's my opinion. Art is, at the end of the day, subjective. Now, maybe I'm just weird, but for me, the stars lined up with this one. I sat down to watch it for a reason. I wanted to be moved. And this film delivered. I was immediately hooked, and the suspense built and built into... just watch it. Oh yeah, and once again, James Caan. Watch it. It's still on Netflix. Remind me to turn the fan off the next time I record an intro. And speaking of next time, I'll see you then.